Hey everybody, this is Reviews and More, back with a quick review. This is on a piece of furniture, electric furniture, called Airlift. It's a electric sit-stand desk from a company called, the brand is Airlift from Seville Classics. Picked it up from Sam's Club for about $300. So first of all, there's your price point right there. It's $300. It's a glass top table. It is advertised to be like a dry erase marker friendly, and this video more or less is going to show you how to assemble it after we do a quick unboxing. If you just want to know how good the desk is, it's great. My wife uses it for her Cricut and other arts and crafts stuff. We don't use it for a computer desk. We really don't functionally use it for a desk at all. It's more like a work table, but it's very, very robust. It is really heavy, so if you're worried about it being light junk, it's not. It's heavy and very robust, even though it's assembled with hex wrench and bolts. But it's very, very especially on carpet, at least. I'll give you this. The carpet is very sturdy, very steady. The one thing I can't tell you is how well it adjusts and levels on a hardwood floor or a tile. So I can't really give you much info on that, but I can run you through the basics of putting it together. So of course we're going to have to start with the legs itself. These are the feet that we put on later, but the legs themselves have to be bracketed into place. And this is the one thing that I will say as far as the importance of it. It's extremely important to get this part right before you continue assembly, and that is simply because you can't undo it once the table is assembled, because the table has lots of clean lines. These particular brackets, when they're screwed on, as you're seeing here, they're hidden in the table once they're fully assembled. So if they're loose in any way and you get the whole table assembled and you're like, oh, it's a little wobbly, and it's because of these, you're going to have to take the whole table apart again. It's not the end of the world, but it's just kind of a pain in the butt, and you want to avoid doing it. So get them good and snug. It's all metal on metal construction, all steel, so you're not going to damage anything. And the worst thing that might happen is you might end up messing the threads up on the bolts, and you can always just use one of the replacement pieces they have in the kit because they have spares. But even doing that be fairly difficult. I will say the hex wrench that came with it, there were a couple of the bolts themselves, even though they were all the same size in that regard, they didn't quite line up perfectly. I actually had to get my own little hex wrench kit just to get one that fit a little bit better, but that's a minor complaint. As long as you have the tools, you should be good to go. But make sure you get this particular bracket on extremely snug so you don't have to worry about it being wobbly later on. Alright, now I put on the actual leg itself, or I guess we're going to call it the leg bracket for lack of a better term. This is also where the motor is connected, so another reason why it's extremely important is simply because the motor itself is attached to here. So you're going to get this on here. It comes with little rubber pads where the bracket that attaches to the leg bracket itself attaches to the tabletop there. There's a little rubberized cushioning in between, so you can get it nice and snug and not worry about it being uneven, because it'll basically take care of itself as long as you get each side relatively close to the same level of snugness. I turned it until I couldn't basically crank it around with the torque of my bare hand. You should not need power tools for this. In fact, I would probably advise against it, simply because sometimes you might overdo it and you might cause for the bolt itself to strip, and you don't want to do that. And then you do the other side, easy peasy, it goes on there. But again, note where that original bracket is, that tabletop line, you can't access that with a tool. So if that is loose in any way, you will not be able to adjust it unless you just take the whole table top off the entire system, which again is a pain because it involves flipping the table over, and again it's not a very light table because it's made of it's steel construction with glass, and the more you have to do that kind of stuff, the more risk there is to just smacking the glass on something. It is tempered glass, but tempered glass can still break. And then once you get those brackets attached to the legs attached to the actual tabletop, you can plug in your motor. That's how I moved my wire around. The wire is not long enough to get caught up on anything, and because the tabletop moves with it, you don't have to worry about snagging the wire itself anywhere. And then we're going to go throw on the feet. The feet are really easy. The one thing I would tell you to do with this, when you put the bolts in there, make sure that once they get down to a certain point of being kind of hand snug, that you alternate tightening them from different angles, because you don't want them to go in at different. If you over tighten one side and one side's too loose, it can cause it to kind of go in there and get bound up, and then you can damage the bolt or possibly even the leg itself. But so you don't want to do that. So once you get them hand snug, alternate by do a single turn on each side, and just alternate through until it's all snug down, because you don't want to forget one side and then tighten it, and all of a sudden you either strip the threads or possibly damage the bottom itself. And then once you get done doing this on both sides, all you have to do from there is actually adjust the little black pads that are on the legs. I don't show this in the video because it's going on carpet. I basically just lowered all the settings because it's going to carpet, which means it's going to settle over time. If there's ever an issue with leveling on hard floors, like a tile or possibly hardwood floors, you're going to have to level those out and get an actual level to do it. So you making sure you get it nice and perfect, especially if you plan on putting computer components on top of this, because you would hate for anything to happen or to be slightly off kilter and then your computer parts fall off, or you're always dealing with chasing down pencils or various items that will roll off a table. You don't want to deal with that. So make sure you get an actual level. They do not come with the kit, although I think that's kind of silly because you can get little 99-cent levels these days. I think they probably should have included that, but that's a minor gripe and one that I did not have to personally deal with. All right, and then it's just a matter of plugging the thing up. There's no programming involved or anything. You just plug it right up to any given outlet in your house, and from there you're going to peel off the plastic. It's oh so satisfying. And once the plastic's peeled off, you can now press the up and down button or set the mode button. And there's the option for 3 presets with the instructions in there, pretty self-explanatory, so don't worry about that. It's not hard to do. Or you can just hit the up and down button for what you need. So if you're it goes from 28 inches down at the bottom up to 47 inches at the tippy top, which means you get a full, unless you're very, very tall, you're not going to basically be out of table here. So I'm 6 foot tall, and when it's at its tippy top height, it is a comfortable standing desk for a computer or a laptop if you're in that kind of situation, especially folks who are kind of stuck working at home. Even as I'm making this video, it's been like a year and a half since COVID started. So people are still working at home, people are still less active. It makes it just a very easy desk to work with. My wife wanted it in particular for crafting, so she wouldn't have to be hunched over at a table. She could kind of raise it up and actually enjoy the experience and not have her back hurting as she was going through it. So here we go, and there's up and down, there's the various mode, that's what you see. And it's a really clean looking desk. I was very satisfied with that. I love how like even the LED display in there, it like hides itself, so it's not like a screen or anything. It just hides. Once it goes off, it hides behind the wood grain, the simulated wood grain. But overall, super happy with it. It's a great purchase, guys. $300 is what I got it for at Sam's Club. Have a great day. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.